Hey friends, welcome to another Wolverine live stream. I hope you're all doing well today. I just wanted to pop on here and say hello and see how everyone was doing and just talk about random nonsense with y'all. So, anyway, it is Saturday and tomorrow is Mother's Day. So, happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. If you are a mother who has lost a child, please know that you will be in my prayers all weekend this weekend. I know that bereavement is very difficult to deal with, especially when you see other people celebrating. So know that you are not alone and that you are held in my thoughts and my prayers all weekend long, and actually all week long. I'll keep you with me. So anyway, today was pretty good. I didn't really do much because we are leaving on a trip on Monday, and I'm very excited about it. It's not an actual vacation. We are taking our kids on a homeschool field trip, and it's going to be 3 nights and 4 days in Mesa Verde, Colorado, which is a beautiful national park here in Colorado. We will be learning about the Anasazi people that lived there before and about like traditional textile weaving and clay pottery making and all of that. So it should be a really cool time. We're also going to do a little bit, we're going to delve into archaeology and what that's about. So that should be pretty fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm like more excited than I should be, but it's just been so long since we've traveled because of this whole pandemic. I see I'm talking to myself right now, and that's okay. I'm hoping that maybe a few people, oh, yay, somebody showed up. I was just talking to myself, and I'm like, I hope somebody shows up, so I'm not just talking to myself this whole time. But anyway, I was just saying that I'm leaving on Monday for a trip to Mesa Verde, Colorado, which is this beautiful national park that we have here, and they have some Pueblo dwellings from the Anasazi who were here. You know, the culture's been here for like 400,000 years. So it's, it's really exciting. It's a homeschool field trip for my kids, but really it's kind of like a vacation. I'm really excited too because they are one of the 100, I think they're with the 100th site in the US that's been qualified as a dark sky location, which means that it has minimal light pollution and you can really see all of the stars there. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to dive into a little bit of like astronomy and see if we can see the Milky Way while we're there. And I'm beyond excited because everything's starting to bloom. And as an herbalist, I'm going to teach the kids about all sorts of plant life there. This will be my first vacation using a wheelchair, so that should be interesting. I do plan on making like a ton of videos while I'm there, and then just editing them all together. Oh, I'm sorry, my live chat isn't working again. Let me try popping it out here. All right, it's working now, if anybody's here. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's what we're doing. And I have decided that for my souvenir, instead of buying something that I probably don't need and probably won't use, I'm going to use some of the yarn I already own and start a project while I'm there. And that way I'll be reminded of that place whenever I wear this thing. So the yarn that I'm bringing with me, I'm not bringing my nice hooks because I'm paranoid that I will lose them or break them or something. So I'm just bringing like a crochet light hook in 3.5 millimeters. And then I'll be bringing, these are so cool, you guys. I subscribe to that Crochet World magazine, and they give you like a free whatever when you subscribe. And the thing they gave me are these scissors. Ready? Check this out. What? They're like little ninja scissors. I think they're so cool. I haven't decided what I'm going to make yet. I just have the yarn and a hook. I don't know. I was kind of thinking of like a shawl or maybe like a miniature, I don't know what it would be called, like a poncho, but like not full size because I only have 2 hanks. or 2 cakes now, but it's this Yarn Bee hand-tied tonal yarn. I would like to preface this by saying I do not shop at Hobby Lobby. This yarn was gifted to me by a friend, and of course, I'm grateful for it. It is 100% superwash wool, and the colorway, I believe, is Lavender Twilight, although it's not lavender like at all. And the picture's not really doing it justice. It's a lot more blue, like blue purple. It's like, I don't know, it's tonal, so it's like dark purple, lavender, reddish purple, true violet. It's gorgeous and is very soft. So I have 2 hanks of this, or 2 cakes, because I've wound them now into cakes. And I don't know what I'm gonna make yet. I was thinking like kind of like a t-shirt, not a t-shirt, a poncho like that covers, like you could wear a tank top underneath it and it would just be kind of like a cute little cover up or whatever. Because when I'm in my wheelchair, I don't know how I would do with a shawl. If I had a shawl pin, I think I could probably pull it off, but I don't want to wear anything that might get caught up in my tires or might get filthy from my tires. So I want it to like end pretty high up. So maybe I'll just do like a triangle scarf. I don't know. But this yarn is, here's the yarn again. And here's the tag. It's Yarn Bee Authentic Hand-Dyed Tonal in Lavender Dusk. Sorry, Lavender Dusk. And it is 420 yards. It is a 100% superwash merino wool. And what weight is it? I don't know what weight it is, you guys. Well, I mean, looking at it, it's like maybe a sport weight. It's in between like a sock and a sport. It's not quite as thin as fingering. It's definitely not a DK. I would say it's like a sock weight yarn. Or like a sport weight, I guess would be. I honestly don't see where it says on here. Sorry, you guys are just going to watch me read a label. It doesn't say. It does not say. I keep looking at it like it's just going to show up, but it doesn't say. So anyway, that's the yarn. If you have any suggestions as to what I should make, let me know, because it's beautiful yarn. It's some of my good yarn. So I've decided that I'll be doing some more traveling this summer. I'm going to go up to South Dakota for Sundance in June, and I will be hopefully able to take another trip sometime later in the summer. So I've decided I want my good yarn to be my souvenir yarn. So I will take good yarn with me on a trip and start a project where I'm at, and then finish it, either there or when I get home, depending on how long I'm there for. And that way I have a souvenir that not only is special and reminds me of that place, but it's something that I made. And I finally feel like I can justify using the good yarn. Do you guys ever feel that way? Like those of you that crochet, like you have to justify using the good yarn because it's the good yarn, I kind of just collect it. I've used it to make doll clothes for my daughter. That's the only thing that I've ever made with my good yarn. And I get Knit Crate every month. So I have like an abundance of good yarn, but I just collect it. I've thought about giving it as prizes, but I'm so attached. Like I am so attached. I do have one, sorry about all the crinkles, guys. I'm just shoving it back in the bag. I do have one set of yarn, the stuff that I made my sweater out of. I don't know if you guys saw that giant sweater that I made. I have like I have two hanks left. I might do those as a prize because I don't know what else to do with them. If I can figure out if it's enough to make my daughter a sweater, I might make her a little matchy sweater. But if not, then I'll probably just give it away either here or on my Facebook group. I'm not sure, because I really kind of need to narrow down my yarn collection. No, I don't. I just need to make more room for more yarn. I'm so sorry about all the random noises today, you guys. I'm just not I don't know if you can tell I'm a little bit fatigued today. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm not really with it. Hi, Anvita. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Are you here because you crochet, or are you here? I mean, I've seen your name before. I just don't recall if we've ever been in a live chat together. Um, but anyway, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that you're here. And whoever else is here, kind of just lurking. I did want to say I did get an email from Deanne earlier today, and she showed me her finished moose blanket, and it is so cute, you guys. Like, oh my goodness, it's adorable. She does great work, but she has to weave in all of those ends, and I can't even imagine. The last Grafghan type thing that I did was a Northern Arapaho flag for a friend of mine, and I did single crochet, not corner to corner, and it was only 4 colors. It's red, white, no, just 3 colors, red, white, and black. And it took, I don't know, probably half the time was just weaving in ends, honestly. So I can't imagine, because I think she said, she gave me the dimensions of that blanket in our last live, and I can't remember how big it was, but it's huge blanket, and it turned out so well. It's just absolutely adorable. So that was fun. I just wanted to recognize Deanne's hard work, because I can't stick with anything that long. Speaking of giant blanket projects, my dragon of a blanket, the Sacred Space, I haven't touched it in like a month, probably longer than a month. I don't know what my problem is. It's such a beautiful blanket and I love it so much, but I'm at the point now where I just don't want to follow any more instructions because I'm not good at that. I start with a pattern and then at some point I'll go off the rails and do my own thing. And I want to do that, but I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. So it's just been sitting in this bag in my closet, collecting dust and dog hair and waiting for me. And I'm just not motivated to get it done. So I'm hoping, like, what I'm telling myself is that when fall comes back around, that I'll be motivated to do it. That is just too hot to work on it now. So we'll see. I don't know. Working on that sweater really gave me a sense of accomplishment because it's like really chunky yarn, And I think what I need to do is make myself a blanket with yarn that thick, so then I feel like I can finish a blanket, because I'm doing this Sacred Space blanket in it's a DK weight, and so it just feels like endless. It was supposed to take, I think it was supposed to take like 12 weeks or 9 weeks or something, and it's been a year since I started it. I started it in March when we first went into quarantine, and it's May the next year. So, yeah, I didn't get it done in 9 weeks, but I wouldn't have gotten it done in 9 weeks anyway because of my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I can't crochet as fast as I would like to. I used to just be so quick at it. I used to just knock things out, no problem. And now I don't know, my hands fatigue easier. I have to wear compression gloves a lot. I don't know if any of you guys wear compression gloves or not. They help, but I just can't do it as much as I used to. Oh, you knit, how wonderful. I tried learning how to knit, and I have made one mitten, just one, not a pair, just one mitten. And I do love knitting. Like, I love the look of knitting. I'm obsessed with learning about knitting. There's a podcast on Apple Podcasts called Historical Yarns, I think, and they talk all about knitting. I love knitting, and for some reason, I just can't seem to get it. Like, I understand how it works. I even learned how to like fix a mistake, but when I make a mistake, I just give up and then I unravel the whole thing. So I just need to do some smaller projects, I think, to get started. I need to do like washcloths and headbands, because I was trying to make a baby blanket right out of the gate, and that was just no. So what's your favorite kind of yarn, Anvita? Am I saying that right? Is it Anvita or Anvita? I mean, Anvita sounds right to me, but I don't know. What's your favorite kind of yarn to knit with? Do you like chunkier yarns, or do you like DK yarns? Because I used to only like worsted weight yarn when I started. That's all I used for anything. And I like it because it's kind of universal. You can do almost anything with it. And then as I got better at crocheting, I started to use thinner yarns. And now I really love DK weight. But I'm in a rut, and so whenever I'm in a rut, I go for the chunky yarns, like the ones that work up in no time, flat, that make you feel accomplished, because I just don't have the patience for like a big project. I don't know what that's about, but of course I picked this. I want to say it's a sport weight. It's not quite thin enough to be. I mean, I guess you could make socks, but it's not quite. No, I mean, it would make nice socks. We'll say it's a sport weight. But I picked a sport weight for this project just because that's what most of my nice yarn is either sport fingering or no, I think most of it is fingering yarn. I have a little bit of DK. But yeah, fingering yarn is I have so much. It's so beautiful, but I really don't use it. I just collect it because it is so tiny and it takes so long to make progress. But what I love about knitting are all those different lace patterns you can get, considering that, in crochet you have hundreds of different stitches that you can do. And in knitting, now that I'm understanding the way that it works, is like magic. It just seems like magic to me. So I want to get really good at it. I want to start making little things. I was thinking about making shawls for my daughter's baby dolls, maybe to like, kind of like swatch shawls or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to practice my knitting. I wish I would have learned knitting first, because I feel like it would be easier to learn crochet as a knitter than it is to learn knitting as a crocheter. Like it's easier to go down from 2 to 1 instead of going up from 1 to 2. But I do understand it. I can knit, I can purl, I can cast on. I always forget how to cast off, so I always have to look that up, but I can do it. So I don't know. I guess I would say I'm just like a beginning knitter, but I keep giving it up because it hurts my hands. With crochet, I can get like a nice chunky crochet hook and it doesn't hurt my hands as much. And with knitting, I just am finding that I have a lot more pain. And so I have to go a lot slower and I have to use bigger needles than I would like and all that. But oh my goodness, I love, love, love the look of knitting. I think it's fantastic. Sorry, when I'm tired, my voice starts to go. So I'm not sick. Well, I am sick, but not with anything contagious. But sometimes in the evening, my voice goes. So this isn't what I normally sound like, and I don't have a cold or anything. It's just something that happens to me. But as I was saying, with knitting, I was looking at this. It's kind of like an online museum of textiles or whatever, and they have, I think it's Shetland lace. I'm not sure. Some kind of lace. I think it's Shetland lace. And oh my goodness, it's so pretty. I love those like really drapey, cobwebby kinds of lace that you can do. But sorry about the sirens in the background. I live in the city, so sounds of the city. I hope you guys can't hear that, but yeah. Are you working on anything right now, Anvita? Do you have a project? Are you actually like knitting while you're listening to me? You probably are, so don't worry if you can't respond, but I'm always so curious to see what everybody's working on. I have like 3 projects that I started that I haven't touched in forever. So I'm hoping that since we're leaving on Monday and we're going on this little trip, that I'll be inspired, that I'll find a spot that I just want to sit forever and crochet. So, but maybe I should bring knitting needles too, in case I change my mind and decide to knit something. Yeah, I don't know. There was a story I heard that they used to judge the quality of somebody's knitting, like for wedding shawls, by passing it through the wedding ring. Like, could you imagine making like such a fine cobwebby type of shawl and pulling it through a wedding ring? Like the guy's wedding ring, maybe, but like a little lady's, I mean, I can't even imagine. I love lace shawls. I love them. I love them. I love them. I have no idea how to make them. But that's kind of what I'm hoping to do with this. I figure, I mean, I've never worn a shawl since I've been a wheelchair user, so I'm not really sure, like, how it's gonna work out, but I think if I wrap it the right way and use a shawl pin, that I shouldn't have any trouble. I just would hate to put in all that work and have it get ruined, you know? Okay, so on Vita, what kind of colors do you usually go for? Because I love, like, really saturated colors, but I feel like if I was knitting, and especially if I was knitting, like, little lacy things, I would wanna do everything in white. Like, it's just so angelic. Just pretty white lacy things are like cream and ecru and, all those maybe grays. Like, it's just really neutral colors. I do wanna make I think it's called a hap. It's like, again, from the Shetland Isles. It's a big square of fabric that you make, that you knit, and it's not super decorative. It's more like a blanket, but you fold it in half and wrap it around your shoulders. Because where I live here in Colorado, it gets so cold in the winter. I love the idea of just basically wearing a blanket around. It's almost like a poncho without a hole in it. Like, so it's just two layers instead of one going over your shoulders. But anyway, I wonder who else is lurking. I wish that it would let me see. Who are you spying on us? No, just kidding. I used to do that all the time whenever I'd first come onto YouTube live streams, is I would just lurk in the corners and, like, watch everybody else's conversation. You wish you could get some ivory yarn, as that's the color you want to knit into. Isn't it pretty? Like, when you have, there was some yarn I saw, I want to say it was like $45 a hank, so there's no way I was buying it. I want to say it was Angora. It was, it had like a halo, you know what I mean? Like that fuzzy kind of halo. It was so beautiful. It looked like angels had spun it, and I was just thinking that would make the nicest wedding shawl. I mean, I'm already married, so I don't have to worry about it, but I would love to learn, like, to get that good at knitting to make wedding shawls for people or something. I love jewel tones. Yeah, that's kind of my go-to. So I have two kids, and my daughter in particular really loves to play in the mud. So white doesn't really happen in this house. Like, we don't do light colors in this house. They wear a lot of black and dark tones. Um, but jewel tones in particular, I love, like a nice deep emerald green, or like forest green, or like this purple. I mean, they call it this lavender. This is not lavender, but just like those really, like, saturated colors. I love those colors. I'm a big fan of color. Although I'm finding that I used to wear a lot of, like, really bright, like this kind of color, like really bright colors. And in recent months, recent years, I've found myself kind of enveloped in more of those dark colors, like wine red and burgundy and, deep jewel tones. And I never would have pictured that for myself, because I was always such a super bright colored person. And now I find myself, like, in black all the time. So it's interesting how we change, right? Oh, hi, Claptrap. Hello. Oh my goodness, girl, go to bed. You poor thing. Why haven't you slept? I hope it was for a fun reason. Um, yeah, go to sleep. You don't have to hang out. You can totally go to bed. You have 100% my permission, blessing, whatever. Go. My command. I command you to go to bed. My goodness. I'm actually usually up at like 4 a.m. anyway, so maybe it's just insomnia, but I hope you get some sleep, dear. I can't even function at that hour. So thank you for stopping in. Where are you from, Anvita? I mean, I'm here in Colorado in the United States, so I'm on mountain time, and I never know what time everybody else is awake at. And most of my friends on here are across the pond, like Claptrap. Babysitting. Oh, are the kids giving you a hard time? Gosh, 4 a.m. I hope they're paying you well. Like, I mean, I love kids, but I do not miss watching other people's children. Oh, you're from India. That's so cool. I've always really wanted to go to India. like, I feel like maybe I'm a little bit naive about it, but I have a dear friend that went, and she actually studied Ayurvedic medicine there. And when she came back, she was just talking about the people, the culture, and how loving everybody is. And I think she went to Delhi. I'm not sure, but I've always wanted to go. I've always thought it would be a really neat experience. I didn't get really exposed to a lot of culture as a child, so I homeschool my kids now, and I'm trying to introduce them to as many cultures as possible. But I have been praying for India, and I continue to pray for India. I hope that you're safe where you are. I hope that you have everything that you need. And uh, yeah, I am praying with everything that I have. It's been just terrible watching everything on the news unfold. I know when this whole thing started here in the United States, a lot of my friends who are from India were so generous with their blessings. And oh, you are from Delhi. Are you okay? I mean, I know that's kind of a tough question to answer right now, but I hope that you're all right and that you have what you need and that you're safe. I There's not really words for how terrible this thing has been, and it continues to be. And I just hope that you know that somebody over here is praying for you and your safety. Oh, your grandkids. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, God, I keep thinking I want another baby, and then people remind me that babies are teething and all that. You're okay. Yeah, I know you guys are going through some really tough times. I'm so glad that you're okay. I'm gonna tell you this because I tell this to everybody that comes on my channel. You are always welcome to email me if you need a prayer or just somebody to talk to. Uh, yeah, I mean, this sounds really weird, but here it's like it's happened and it's happening, but it's almost like it's not happening because everybody's just acting like everything's normal. But I know from all of the friends that I do have from India, the culture is different where there is a lot of compassion and love for one another. And so that I do feel like that wounds deeper. And I I can't even begin to imagine what you must be feeling, what you must be going through. Like our version of it was it was weird. It was weird. But I mean, we're still going through it. Luckily, vaccines are starting to come out. I know there's an issue with getting vaccines over there, but I am praying every day that they speed up that process and get the vaccines into you guys' arms because um, I can't imagine how scary it must be just to be there now. And I'm so sorry that you have to experience this, that we're all experiencing this like together collectively. It's traumatic. It's very difficult to deal with. And it's it's really weird here because people um they've turned it into something that it's not, and like the human element has gone away from it. Now it's about politics and anti-maskers and all that, and it's insanity is what it is. So I hope that you I will keep you very close in my heart. I will keep you and your family in my prayers. I don't subscribe to just one religion, but I do subscribe, like I'm faithful to one creator. That's who I pray to, and I will be praying for you guys. I've been praying for your whole country, but now I have a name, so I will pray for you as well personally. Um, and I hope this is also kind of a weird thing to say to somebody you haven't met before, but I have actually had a near-death experience where I passed away and then came back. And so I have a different relationship with death than most people. So if you ever want to talk about it, I'm open to it. I'm always happy to discuss that with you, with anybody, really. If you want to hear about my experience, if that'll bring you some comfort, anything that I can do, just let me know. Because I feel so helpless from here. What can I do except pray, right? I like, what can we do? And it's so disheartening and so difficult to watch because we every country has these big governments, and especially the United States, we've given aid to so many people, and yet I feel like not enough is being done. Not nearly enough is being done. And so I will continue to pray, and I will pray for you in particular. Let's see. Claptrap says, I've heard about the lack of oxygen concentrators, and what I understand is the biggest help for survival. Would DAY concentrators help? You know what, Claptrap? I have heard that a couple of universities here in the United States have been trying to develop an oxygen concentrator with like cheaper supplies that would be easy to manufacture in bulk. So that's something that would be interesting to hear about. I think what will help is humanity being human with each other, to have the compassion to, close down economies and just get through it together, and then also to get vaccines. I can't imagine there's any way out except vaccines at this point. Um, and I know, I mean, we've all felt it, the terror of this virus. Like, we've all been afraid of it, but to be so deeply in the middle of it, Amrita, I will just pray so hard for you, and not just for your health, but like for you to have peace in your heart and your soul, because um, the level of trauma that everyone in India is experiencing right now, and everyone around the world, but especially everyone in India that is experiencing right now, whether it's affecting somebody that you love or not, whether or not, your health is okay, just witnessing what is happening is a collective trauma, and it just feels so impossible. And so, I really mean that. Anything that I can do to help you, please let me know. Just anything. I'm not a rich person. I'm not like some super wise person, but I'm here and I care, and you matter, and you will be in my prayers every single day. Absolutely. So, hi, Jane. I'm sorry. Jane just came in like such a sad part of the conversation. We were just discussing the situation in India. Our friend Anvita is in India right now. She's in New Delhi. That's where she's from. Or sorry, Delhi, not New Delhi, right? Delhi. And we were just talking about the situation and the virus. And yeah, Jane is from Brazil, so she's living in Texas, but she's from Brazil. So she also has been hit very hard personally with the virus. It's touched everybody, and it's awful. And this is a space where it's okay to not, you don't have to hide it. You can feel your feelings here. Absolutely. I do all the time. I mean, if you look at my earliest videos, most of them are me crying. So it is New Delhi. Okay. So yeah, I've just been trying to encompass the entire country of India, and it's just the sheer numbers. Like, we can't even fathom that as human beings, right? Like, I'm sure that living in India, you get some idea of how many people live there, but when we're talking about the numbers of people that are passing away on a daily basis from this, it's unfathomable, and we're just trying to get through this. So I will pray, and I will keep praying. I mean, I don't ever stop praying, but I will definitely be praying for you and your family in particular. Hi, Susan. I'm good. I'm actually doing really well. Um, the kids, we're taking the kids on a homeschool field trip on Monday. We're going to the Mesa Verde National Park here in Colorado to learn about the people who used to live on the Pueblo down there. So it's really exciting. You and Jane both kind of came in at a sad part. We were talking about the situation in India and how the infrastructure is really like at its breaking point. Yeah, I think anything would help. I know the good news is, Anvita, that there is a huge push right now by a lot of different scientists from a lot of different countries to get vaccines there. So just hold on. I mean, I know it's so devastating, and it's been absolutely awful. We've had, I think, Colorado, where I'm at now, is considered like in crisis. And I think we're on our fourth wave. This virus it's something that I don't ever think any of us could have imagined living through. And right now, I think that the only thing that we can do is pray and take care of ourselves and do our best to avoid crowds. I know that's easier said than done somewhere as populated as New Delhi. I mean, I'm so sorry for what you're going through right now. Um, I know a lot of times when other people are going through something harder, we have the tendency to be like, well, it could always be worse. But whether or not somebody in your family directly is affected, again, like there's a level there of trauma that you're experiencing, and I'm just so sorry that you're dealing with that right now. And I will be praying for peace for you in your heart and in your mind, because I do know the fear that this strikes, and it is scary. It is. Hi, Deanne. I was talking about you earlier. I was bragging about your moose blanket. And then so Anvita, I hope it's okay. I just wanted you to know, like, you can talk to me, but we'll switch the subject back to yarn because that's more lighthearted and hopefully that'll help you cope. And I was just saying earlier too that I'm planning on making a lot of videos while I'm down. It's near the Four Corners here in Colorado, and it's going to be beautiful. There are some really beautiful pueblos built, thousands of years ago. Yeah, I'm sorry, Anvita. I wasn't trying to like dig too deep, but back to what we were talking about. We were talking about lace shawls and knitting lace shawls, and Jane and Deanne and Susan. I know Claptrap is going to bed. But what I have decided to do, you guys, is I'm going on Monday. Claptrap, go to bed. We're going to Mesa Verde National Park on Monday, and we'll be there for 4 days. And I have decided that instead of buying a souvenir, I'm going to make myself one. So I have this really pretty, can't decide if it's a sock or it's not quite a DK, and it's not quite a fingering, so I think it's probably sport weight yarn. So I'm going to make myself some kind of souvenir. I was thinking, like, Anvita and I were talking about a lace shawl, maybe. But now I'm wondering if I should bring knitting needles and just practice my knitting. Like, how cool would that be? But then if I can't get it right, I'll be like, this was a silly idea. Because I'd really like to, make something beautiful that I could wear. Right? Isn't that fun, Jane? And then in the future, when I start to run out of my good yarn, I figure I'll just buy yarn where I'm at, and then that will be my souvenir, and I'll make something. You're making a virus shawl. I love the virus shawl. It's so pretty. I was thinking, I don't know if you guys have any crocheted shawl patterns that you love, let me know. But I was thinking something really lacy, because that would be, I don't know. There's just something about lace shawls that are just, what's the word? Like luxurious, glorious, fancy, beautiful. So many things. But I was telling, hey, Triple C, how's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was telling Anvita that I saw this dainty, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I saw this yarn and it was like 40, I think it was $45 or $50 a hang. It was so expensive. But it had like, it was white and it had like a halo. And I think it was Angora. And it was so soft. I don't want to make a virus shawl because I already made one. I do love it though. I think it's great. I never wear it. I make shawls and then I never wear them. I think I would wear it if it was lacy and like just draped around this area. Because when I'm in my wheelchair, I can't really have like the big triangle shawl on my back, it's not really feasible. So I was kind of thinking like a rectangle, maybe pinning it at the shoulder, or I don't know, something. Yeah, send me a pattern. I would love that, Jane. So sorry guys, if it sounds like I'm sick, I'm not. It's just the eds. So connective tissue means that my neck muscles get lazy at the end of the day. I will absolutely pray for your family, Susan. I am so sorry to hear that. What kind of cancer does he have? If you don't mind sharing. And what is his name? Because I will absolutely pray for him. Of course. I'm getting so many people added to the prayer list today, and that's awesome. I love it when I know what you guys are struggling with so that I can pray for that. His name is Lonnie, and he has lung cancer. Absolutely, I will pray for him. You got it. I will keep him in my prayers. You love which color, Deanne? The purple? Am I lagging? I might be lagging. Oh, sorry guys, my chat just went a little crazy. Yeah, if anybody else has anything that they want prayers for, let me know. I'm going to pray that Claptrap gets some sleep. Have a good night, Claptrap. Thank you for stopping in. Kiss your grandbabies. I'm sure they're just precious. You don't use shawls, you make them. I really love doing prayer shawls for people. Like I really love. I also like to make like baby blankets for people with a prayer in every stitch. If you guys don't know I'm sure everybody here probably knows what a prayer shawl is, but a prayer shawl is a shawl that when you're making it, you're praying for the person, or you're thinking good intentions or like healing for that person. You're like infusing the yarn in every stitch with the vibration of healing and love and light and joy and all that. So I love making prayer shawls, but I never ever wear shawls, and I want to start wearing shawls. So I was also thinking maybe like, I don't know if you guys have ever made one of these. I don't know how you would do it with knitting, but like a mini poncho where it's like, it looks like a shawl, but it's actually like a little poncho. So it's like, wrapped and then it attaches on one side. You got some packages today. You thought they were the zebras, but they weren't. Oh, shucks. Yeah, Deanne. So I was just talking to Anvita about knitting versus crochet, and I said I wish that I had learned to knit first, because I feel like it's easier to go from 2 needles to 1 hook than it is to go from 1 hook to 2 needles. But I can knit stitch, and I can purl stitch, and I can cast on, and I can bind off. So I have the basics down, and I do plan on knitting, but maybe it's a little ambitious to think of making a lace shawl right out of the gate. Let's see. Anyone? Yes. If anybody out there that prays that's here right now that would feel called to do so, please say a prayer for Lonnie, Susan's husband. He has lung cancer. It has returned. So if you say prayers, please keep them in your prayers, because that is a beautiful gift we can give to each other. Absolutely. We will pray. Of course we will. And then also, of course, just pray for India. We won't go into, we went into it in depth earlier. Let's just pray for India. There's a lot happening there, and it's rough. So thank you so much, you guys, for praying for Susan's husband and her family. Yeah, so I must have been lagging a little bit, Deanne. It's called I don't remember what it's called. So one of the symptoms of EDS is brain fog and memory loss. It's called it's Yarn Bee Authentic Hand-Dyed Tonal Yarn in Lavender Dusk. And I cannot for the life of me find a weight on this yarn. It says use 2.5 millimeter knitting needles. But it's not quite a sock yarn. It's like just a little thicker than a fingering yarn. I'm thinking it's a sport yarn. I actually had given up on the idea of ever learning knitting. My dog's hair is in my yard. And my son goes to this program once a week for homeschoolers where he gets to go to school with other homeschool kids once a week. And the leader of the program found out that I was a crocheter and that I didn't know how to knit, and that I wanted to learn how to knit, but I had given up on it. So she, the next time I saw her, had these really nice bamboo knitting needles with the balls on the end. And she had cast on, I think, 17 stitches or something. And she taught me how to do it the violent way. She's like, stab it, scoop out its guts, throw it off a cliff that whole way, to knit. And so that's how I learned, because she just insisted. She's like, you're not allowed to give up on this. We're going to do this together. And I thought that was just the sweetest thing for her to do, to go above and beyond and wait, because it's only once a week. So she had it on her mind for a whole week. And then she taught me how to knit. And I did make like an ear warmer for my daughter. And then I made one mitten on my own like a couple months ago. And that's all the knitting I've ever done. I want to do socks. Like, I really want to learn how to knit socks. I think socks are just so cool. Do you ever make, who in here knits, by the way? So I'm a crocheter. I know on Vita you knit. Does anybody else knit in here? Like, I feel like Claptrap might knit a little bit, but I don't remember. Sorry, because I'm a little stuffy. It's because I have my window closed. You knit, Jane? Would you say that you're like a beginning knitter, or are you like intermediate or advanced? Because I'm always amazed, since I only understand. Oh, you're new to crochet. Okay, so you're a knitter and you're learning crochet. Do you feel like it would have been easier to learn crochet first? Or are you glad you learned knitting first? I always wonder which order is easiest to go from one to the other. Yeah, I'm always interested in that, because so I'm actually left-handed, and oh, thank you for asking, Susan. I'll let you know after I get done with this little part here. So I'm left-handed, but I learned how to crochet from a right-handed person, and she could not for the life of her teach me, because we were mirroring each other. And so I ended up learning how to crochet right-handed, because it was easier for her to teach me that way. So I learned, the first thing I ever crocheted was like the world's longest chain, like foundation chain ever, when I was like 10, maybe a little older than that. And then I didn't sincerely start crocheting until I was about 17. And now I'm 34, and I've been crocheting since I was 17. So it's been a while, been a little bit, been a minute. But I feel like the reason I have trouble with knit, or why I had so much trouble with knitting before I finally figured it out, is because nobody had the patience to teach somebody left-handed. So I'm not sure if I knit left right-handed, but I hold the yarn the same as when I crochet. So let's see. My dad, so that's a loaded question. My dad is okay. I haven't talked to him in a few weeks. I need to call him. Thank you for reminding me. For those of you who don't know, my dad recently underwent an amputation of his foot. And then while he was in, so he was in the hospital for like a month, and then he went home. They figured out that he couldn't do as much as they thought he could. They put him back in the hospital. They ended up removing all of his bottom teeth, and he just got out of the hospital for the second time. So he's having a really hard time. And while he was in the hospital, my stepmom had his dog put down. So he's definitely not doing well. If you guys could say a prayer for him. His name is Anthony. I'm sure like he would hate me if he knew that I was asking for prayers for him, but he could definitely use it. He's just not having a good time right now. He's having a very hard time. The good news is that his health is a lot more stable than it was. And I will probably give him a call tomorrow, since he raised me and my brother kind of by himself. And tomorrow's Mother's Day. I always call my dad on Mother's Day. So I'll probably give him a call tomorrow and just call my mom or something. I mean, I do talk to my mom, but she wasn't really around. So I always call my dad on Mother's Day and tell him thank you. You won some fingering yarn from a big crafter. Nice. Mace of Skeins. I've seen that one. How many yards did you get, Deanne? You didn't want to learn crochet until you were 47, Jane? I mean, I didn't want to learn anything with a chain stitch until I was 17. So it took like a good 7 years of just making bracelets and stuff with the chain stitch. Thank you, Susan. I mean, my dad isn't really like, I don't know, it's weird. He used to be a hardcore Baptist and then he was a Wiccan for a little while. And so, like, he's a man of faith. It's just which one, right? Like, so I don't know. I definitely appreciate prayers for him and just good vibes his way. I've talked to my dad more since his injury than I think I ever have in my life. So it's kind of awkward, but I love my dad. He's just, we're different people. Let's just put it that way. It's a nice way to put it. Oh, I was going to tell you guys. So there's this really freaking cool bookstore here in Denver called The Shining Lotus. It's a metaphysical bookstore. And I picked up this book, Lessons from the Light by George Anderson. And apparently this guy passed away and came back similarly to what I did. And he writes about it. So I'm trying to find some answers for myself because I've been having some pretty intense experiences lately. And I just wanted to share with you guys that I'm reading a book for the first time in Lord knows how long. And I'm really excited about it. No, my dad lives in Idaho. Yes, hit the thumbs. I always forget that's a thing. Thank you, Susan. Don't forget your thummies, as Tracy always says. Yeah, I don't know. The situation with my dad is really weird. Like, I love him so much, but he has lived in Idaho for, I want to say, almost 10 years now. So we've been Facebook friends. Like, I have such a weird relationship with my parents. Like, I do. It's not a healthy relationship. Let's put it that way. But my dad has definitely softened up since he's been sick, and he has been opening up a lot more about how he feels and, not answering everything with a joke. So there's some healing happening, and I'm really proud of him and how much he's growing. I definitely need to call him more often. It's just, you get busy with the kids and the house and my health, and I had to take my son to the emergency room, and just so many things happened. And so thank you guys for reminding me that I should call my dad. You're left-handed and you crochet left-handed. Your aunt is right-handed and taught you. Yeah, that's usually how I learn. I could not for the life of me figure out crochet though. But I was 10, Yeah, that's how I've done a lot of things too. Now I crochet right-handed. I don't mind it. I guess I'm more ambidextrous than just left-handed now because I used to be strictly left-handed, but in school I broke my left elbow, and so I had a cast, one that goes from here all the way up to my armpit. So it was like this for a whole summer and then a semester in school. And because I had school, I had to write still, so I had to learn how to write with my right hand, and I became very ambidextrous. So I'm grateful that happened because now I can use both hands. Not quite equally, but I can write pretty well with my right hand. 700 yards. That's a good score. What weight is it? Is it like a fingering? Did you say? You did say fingering weight. What color is it? I want to know everything about it. Like such a yarn addict. But yeah, I would love to know what you make with it, Deanne. I'm gonna when we're done with our live chat, which is got to be soon because I am really losing my voice now. When we're done with our live chat, I will put my email in the description box like I always do. And Deanne, I would love, love, love it if you sent me a picture of that yarn. Like, I totally want to see it. I'm obsessed. And if anybody else is working on anything that they want to share with me, I'd be happy to see it. You can email it to me. On Vita, if you're working on a lace shawl or if you have one that you're really proud of, like, I would love to see it because I need that inspiration to keep knitting. Like I need to see pretty things to remind me why I want to learn to knit, because I get so frustrated with the process. Mostly just because I don't know how to fix some of the things that I'm doing wrong yet. But I can learn. Let's see. How long have I been on here, you guys? We almost made it to an hour. I like never make it to an hour. We had like 6 minutes. I'm going to leave at an hour because my voice is really going and my husband probably wants to hang out with me. Oh, yay. I would love that on Vita. I will make sure, if I forget to put the email in this particular video, most of my videos have my email address. Hi, Kim. Welcome in. I'm actually leaving in like 6 minutes, so thank you for popping in. I was just telling everybody that if you're working on something that you would like for me to see, to email it to me. I'm going to put my email in the description box once this is not live anymore, because I really love seeing what you guys are working on. Deanne sent me a picture of her most recent project, or one of her most recent projects. I'm blown away. Do you have all your tails weaved in yet, Deanne? Are you still working on it? Because you must have the patience of a saint. I hate weaving in ends. Oh, I did get some new rocks. You guys want to see them? I got, I'll show you this one first. This is it's kind of hard to do. A blue lace agate, or agate, however you say it. And I am so in love with this one. Sometimes I just like stick it up here in my tickle. And then I got this one, which is Amazonite. I don't know, I'm kind of on a blue rock kick. I'm going to put this one up there too. Don't tell anybody if you see my hair. Now it just looks like I have weird lumpy things under there. But does anybody else collect rocks? Is anybody else obsessed with rocks? I also have I have so many. They're my bedside rocks. I have a giant rose quartz, which I love. This is one of my favorite stones of all time. I just met Amazonite. I had never seen it before, and at the store that I went to, it's called Shining Lotus Bookstore here in Denver. They had this sphere, like this huge sphere of it, and I just held it, and like all of my worries just melted away. My son loves to collect rocks too. Actually, both of my kids do. My daughter's always bringing me rocks. My son, he used to call it his rock election. Like he's holding an election for the rocks. He's 12 now, so he doesn't speak like that anymore. He'd be horrified if he knew I told you. I also have my selenite nearby. I've also got my little chromie made out of onyx over here. You make bracelets with it. I just love any kind of... What happened to Deanne's message? Did you do that, Deanne, or did somebody... Did I do that? I'm sorry. I hope it was Deanne and not me. I'm still figuring out this whole chat thing. It's kind of crazy. I'm such a noob. I mean, I feel like I say that all the time, but I've been here for a little while now. I feel like a noob because I'm really inconsistent. Like, I said I was going to do a video every Thursday. That didn't happen. So I appreciate those of you that stick around for my random herbal, random crochet, random health videos. Random spiritual healing videos. They all kind of turn into the same thing in the end, don't they? It's just like we talk about yarn, we talk about rocks, we talk about souls. I think I might just leave these in here. You have to make bracelets with stones you got from the gypsies. I do bead. I haven't done it in a while, but I do. Maybe next time I do a video, I'll show you guys some of my beadwork if you want to see it. I have too many hobbies. There's tons. You had to put it down for a while. Oh, the ends, right. I think I'm lagging, you guys. I'm pretty sure I'm lagging because you guys aren't seeing the same things at the same time. Maybe you're lagging. Maybe I'm lagging. Oh, hey, I got 6 whole people today. That's awesome, you guys. I think the most people I've ever had in one of these chats was like 12, and that was a fluke because I think Tracy's chat ended and then a bunch of people came, or it might have been who's the squirrel lady? What? I feel so bad. What is it? Granny D? No. Is that right? I can't remember. The squirrel lady ended, and then a bunch of people came over to see me, which was cool. But you should make your kids weave in the ends for you, Deanna. Be like, yeah, it builds character. I can't stand weaving in ends. I usually work over my ends anytime that's possible. I'm pretty lazy about it. I'll also just like, you know how you can like keep the yarn and let it, yeah, Granny D, that's who I was talking about. You can keep the yarn and just like go up the side with it. I'll do that and then just put a border over it because I'm so like just lazy about it. But I know it's different with the graph gans because you have to use like bobbins and all that. Otherwise you get a big tangled mess. So I'm proud of you for finishing it. I'm proud of you for weaving in those ends and for knowing when to put it down because that is an insane amount of yarn to weave in. All right, my loves. I think my voice has had it with me. I don't know if you can tell, but it's starting to like really, I'm starting to sound like a boy going through puberty or something. So I think I'm gonna go. Let me know when you hear me say that because I feel like I'm lagging a bit. Okay, you must have heard me. Awesome. Bye, Kim. Feather and Fanleys. Yeah, send it to me, Jane. I want to see it. Absolutely. Send it to me. Send it. You can either message it to me or send it by email, whatever. But yeah, I don't know if I'll actually do a video while I'm at Mesa Verde. I might do a live from there if you guys are interested and if I remember, because we all know how good I am at remembering. But yeah, I would love to do like a stitch and bitch at the Mesa Verde site. Maybe I could find like an epic background and we can all just hang out together or something. But anyway, yeah, I can hear it now. It's getting a lot worse. That's my sign. It's time to go. I should really do these earlier in the day so that doesn't happen. But I just wanted to thank you guys. Yeah, I am tired, Susan. My voice changes when I'm tired. It's part of the ends. I can't hide it too. I can be like, I'm not tired. My husband's like, really? All right. So Susan, I will be praying for your husband. Anvita, I will be praying for you and your family. Of course, anybody else that needs prayers, I'm encompassing with love and light and all that. Don't forget, wash your hands, wear your masks, take care of yourselves and each other, and remember that you are precious, sacred, beloved beings, and I'm so happy that you exist here with me now. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for stopping by. Have a wonderful night, and if Claptrap is still here, go to bed. Good night, guys. Bye.